everyone. I'm Connie Stewart with SimplySimpleStamping.com. Thank you so much for joining me today. It's time for another Now Wow or Holy Cow card. I love creating cards in this series because if you've got just a few minutes, I've got a card for you. If you want to step it up, you really like to send a wow card, I have you covered there as well. And if you want to go all out and make the most awesome Holy Cow card, I have that for you as well. So no matter what your skill level, today's video is for you. We're going to be featuring Stampin' Up's Time Together stamp set or bundle. I'm really excited to share these to you, so let's jump in and get started. So today's Now Wow or Holy Cow cards will be created with the Time Together stamp set or the bundle. So even if you don't have the dies, you're still going to be able to create today's cards. But these dies are pretty awesome. And let me tell you, I have picked up some amazing tips to share with you on using this stamp set. And I think you're going to really enjoy it. So we're going to get started with our Now card. Again, it's a now card. We need one in a hurry. This is perfect. I miss you every minute of every hour. Little stamping on the inside. It doesn't take a lot of cardstock. Before I get too wrapped up in the measurements, I want you guys to know that there is a free download that goes along with my video today. I'll share more about that here in a minute, but don't worry about writing down any of the measurements because I've got them all typed up real pretty for you. My color of choice today is Bubble Bath. This is a piece of cardstock 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4, so that will fit in a medium-sized envelope. My accent color is Basic Gray. I think it looks so nice with that Bubble Bath. This is a 3 3/4 by 5, and our last piece is a piece of Basic White, 3.5 by 4 3/4. That's all we need for a Now card. And 2 ink pads are all we're going to use today, Bubble Bath and Basic Gray. I'm going to start here with my Basic Gray, and we're going to start with the hourglass. Now, what's interesting about this hourglass is it is photopolymer, and you see it's got all kinds of crazy stretch to it. And so it can be a little bit challenging if you try to lay it on your block and try to do it that way. Look, I'm crooked. So here is my #1 tip for using this bundle. I want you to take your stamp side down, and just drop it. Just drop it, lay it right there. And now I'm going to take my block and I'm going to pick it up, and that's going to ensure it's going to be perfectly straight. All right, let's come in now with our Basic Gray. I'll ink up my hourglass. And we're going to stamp that right down, kind of down towards the bottom of that Basic White, because we're going to stamp our sentiment up here at above. And my sentiment is I miss you every minute of every hour. Remember the trick I just showed you? I want you to do the same thing with the sentiment stamps. You notice they have a curl? They do that because there is actually a matching stamp that creates a little banner. But we want that curve. So again, just drop your stamp side down, and then we can come along and pick it up, and we know it's going to be perfect. So we are not going to use the banner on our Now card because remember, we need this card in a hurry because we do want to say I miss you every hour or every minute of every hour. So we have that stamp. Now let's stamp our sand. And that will be done in Bubble Bath. Now I need you to know that there are different types of sand in this stamp set. So we could do a heart of sand, or if you want to look like it's kind of about halfway done, you can do this one here at the top. This one is there for the bottom, and of course, the sand flowing down. So we're going to focus on the heart because I just thought the heart was so cute. So we're going to take that, and because it's photopolymer, I can see right where I'm going to stamp. So we'll stamp our sand right there. And now we can come in with the sand that has gone through our hourglass. We'll put that there. And of course, we need the sand that is flowing from the top to the bottom. And we can just add that. Perfect. I mean, how quick and easy was that? I'm now going to adhere that stamped image right here on top of my Basic Gray. And because it's a Now card doesn't mean it has to be boring. So we're actually going to put some Stampin' Dimensionals on the back of our card. And then I added that to the Bubble Bath Do you see how that little bit of dimension, it just adds a little bit of extra? Oh, speaking of extra, look at my iridescent rhinestones. Don't those just add the perfect little embellishment to a very, very fast card? They really pick up that bubble bath color. And you can see I did just a little bit of stamping on the inside, couple flowers, and time has a wonderful way of showing us what really matters. That card was made in minutes, right? Minutes. All right, let's say you want to create a wow card. You love the stamp set, but we want to take it up a notch. You want to put a little extra TLC into it. Let's bring in the matching dies to the Time Together stamp set. This card is going to be much like the last one. So we have the same piece of Bubble Bath, the same piece of the basic gray and the basic white. I do have a couple extra pieces here. So my Bubble Bath is a 1 by 2.5. It's just a piece of scrap, so it can be anything. And same with my basic white. This is about a 2 3/4 by 4 1/4. We just need to do some stamping and die cutting from this piece. With our basic gray ink pad, we are going to stamp our hourglass again. This time, we're actually going to stamp right in the center because my sentiment's not going to go up at the top. It's going to go across. Like I said, we're also going to be bringing in some of the dies. So on this card, I'm going to take that little flower and I'm going to stamp it here on this little scrap of Bubble Bath. I want 3 flowers. Now for this one, let's bring in the banner, that gorgeous banner. By the way, same technique. Throw it down on your table, stamp side down, and it will be shaped exactly the way you need it. I'm going to stamp that in the basic gray. Now let's bring in some Bubble Bath ink. And I'm going to stamp my sentiment right inside Time to Celebrate Happy Birthday. Now you're going to be able to see what I meant. See how it just lines up perfectly in the banner? Yeah, that's what we're going for. Now up here at the top, now we're ready to stamp our sand. And we're going to be using our dies to die cut these. Just again, to give it something a little extra. So we're going to And let me show you what we're going to die cut. We're going to take this hourglass outline. So this would be like the wood part. I want you to die cut that from the middle of that basic gray, and then we're going to be layering on top of it. So you won't even see it. So we're going to get a little extra out of that basic gray. Now we're going to take our sand die. So there's one, here's one, and of course that banner. I'm going to run these through, oops, and my little flowers. By the way, there are 3 flowers, but there are dies for 2 of them, so that'll save you a little bit of time. So we're going to take all of this, get this all lined up. I'm going to run this through my die cutting machine. All right, I've got all of that die cut, and you know, even though it's a wow card, it's still not taking very long, is it? So I have put some adhesive on the back of that hourglass. Let's just adhere that to that basic gray cardstock. This is one of my favorite tips, you guys. I mean, why not use from back behind that, right? Now, this is what I was saying. Look at this. I mean, it really adds a lot. But you know what? I thought it needed some dimension. And for this one, we're going to use mini Stampin' Dimensionals. These need to be kind of small. And let me show you, you can put, there's just enough space to put a mini Stampin' Dimensional there. And then we're going to take about 3 up at the top here, and then 3 more down here at the bottom. This is just really going to make this hourglass looks so cool. Now we're not going to let those dimensionals get too far away from us because we're going to be using a lot of dimensionals on this card. Let me peel off my backings and we're going to go ahead and add this to the card. Like that. Ooh, great dimension. Okay, now remember we had our little pieces here. We're going to add those as well. But before I do, I need to add the sand that's going to go right down the middle, right? So let's add our sand right there in Bubble Bath. And for these, I'm going to go ahead and use the larger dimensionals. They should be fine. So we'll add 2. You know what? It does need 1 right there. How about just a little mini right down there? I'm going to add these to my hourglass. And again, you can see it's just adding some really, really great dimension to the card. Remember our sentiment banner. We're actually going to add that with some dimensionals as well. This one will take the minis. And for this one, it's kind of important. We need a mini on each end and then one right here in the middle. Because we've already got the dimension going on here, I don't want to add too much. So this is going to give me just enough clearance. Time to celebrate. Happy birthday. Look at that. That is so cool. All right, now remember those 3 flowers. Friends, we are just simply going to add these right up here to the top of our beautiful hourglass. We'll add dimensionals now to the back of the card, because remember, it's a wow. We want it to be a big wow. So let's add about, I'm going to get a couple here in the center just because I want to make sure I've got enough going right there. Nothing worse than having your card sag in the middle, right? Okay, and back in with those same iridescent rhinestones. Again, you can really see how it's just pulling up that bubble bath color. Of course, what's great with iridescent is it goes with everything. And there you go. Look at the fun dimension going on there. And didn't you love how we got that layer just from behind our layer of basic gray? It worked great. Okay, are you guys ready to go? Holy cow, we're going to go all out on this next card. I mentioned earlier that I have a free download for you. You can find that at simplysimplestamping.com, or if you'll just look down in the YouTube description, there's a direct link that'll take you to today's post where you'll be able to find that download. There's just a big blue button that says grab your download here. In that download, you're going to have the measurements, the supply list, photographs of the cards, even a link back to this video. So if you need a quick refresher, you can click there. And guys, if you need to order any of the supplies that I use, it's so easy to order from Simply Simple Stamping. There's a place there in the free download for you to do that as well. All right. Are you guys ready to create a holy cow card? All right, let's go. So again, my bubble bath is the same. My basic gray and my basic white are the same, but I'm actually going to use 2 pieces of basic gray, same size. That was that 3 3/4 by 5. And you notice I have another piece of basic white this time. This is a 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. We're going to do a little stamping on this one. And I went ahead and did it for you in advance. I want you to see there's my hourglass, my banner, and the flowers from the stamp set. So before we go too much further, I'm going to do a little coloring. And we're going to do that with Stampin' Blend. So I have the Bubble Bath and the Old Olive. And friends, I'm just going to show you how quickly and easily these flowers are to stamp. I'm going to start with the dark. And what I like to do is just trace the inside of the flower, and then I'm going to get the little stamen there, and we'll trace this out. By the way, I'm going to do the same thing with these flowers, and now I'll blend those colors together with the light bubble bath, and you see how that just blends together and kind of makes those 2 colors, the light and the dark, go together so nice. Now with our Old Olive, we're going to kind of do the same thing. I'm going to take the dark and I'm just going to trace the inside of the leaf, and then I'll also get the stem there of the other one. Now, just like we did before, let's blend, blend, blend. And then I'm just going to hit these leaves just a little bit with the fine tip there of the light. And as I said, we're going to color in these same flowers as well. All right, and now we are going to stamp inside our hourglass. Basically, this is going to be just the same way it was on our Now card. So we're going to, but don't worry, we're going to add something else to it. We're going to get that on there, a little sand. Now for my sentiment for this one, we're going to say, I love you till the end of time. Oh, by the way, did you see what I almost did? Yep, that banner's going the other way. So I'm going to check that before I stamp it. We'll stamp love you till the end of time. All right, now let's do a little magic to our hourglass. We're going to make it look like glass. And I'm going to use another favorite technique, which is packing tape. So I'm going to peel off some packing tape here. And this is going to sit right on that hourglass. Let's make sure we get all the sides. I'm going to give this a really good back grub because can you see now how it looks like glass? Now, at this point, we have everything done. I'm ready to die cut everything you see here. All right, we have that die cut. Let's go cut our hourglass stand out of the center, just like we did before. And now we're ready to put this card together. I'm going to take the basic white. There is no stamping on this one. You know, some of the others we stamped on. This will go right here to cover up our punch. Now we are going to add our hourglass with just some adhesive. So we're going to add that right here to the center. But you love that glass, don't you? It's just such a fun technique. This, you guys have already seen me do it. We're going to come in with those mini Stampin' Dimensionals. We can add that on top. Remember how we added our sentiment before with the minis? Yep, we added one on each end, one in the center. And just like before, that will go there. Now, those fabulous flowers that we stamped, you know what, before I do, I'm actually going to go ahead and add this to the front of my card. Now, this card, we've got a little more to do. We're going to do a little magic on the inside. I've got two regular Stampin' Dimensionals. They're going to go there. I'm going to add just a dot of adhesive, kind of optional. But when we adhere this one down, there's a dimensional already under that. So you can see that just kind of gives it, again, that dimension that we're looking for. Remember, we have these little flowers just like we did before. Let's just add those up here at the top. And now just my iridescent rhinestones. Now there are three sizes in here, kind of a small, medium, and large. So I'm going to use a large one on that big flower. And then I'll use the medium ones here on my little flowers. And like I said, this is a holy cow. So I'm going to come in with just a few of the small ones, the little small iridescent rhinestones, just to kind of dress up that card just a little bit more. All right, so like I said, we wanted to dress up the inside of this one a little bit. I have another piece of the basic gray and the basic white, same size as these. We're going to add these to the inside of our card, but, you know, we're going holy cow. So let's see what we can do with that basic gray before we cover it up. I'm going to come back in with that packing tape just a little bit, all right? And I'm actually going to put it up kind of up here at the top. You'll find. And look at this sweet little hourglass. I'm going to come in and die cut this little one from behind that basic gray because I can't stand to waste anything. But I want you to see what we get. Oh my goodness, look at our shiny little hourglass. All right, let's take the piece of basic white and I will stamp my Time Has a Wonderful Way of showing what really matters. Those two little flowers, we'll add a couple of those. Back in with the Stampin' Blends, again starting with the dark. Follow up with the light, blend those two together. I'm going to cover up that ick. Now, can you see why I put it up here at the top? Yeah, because my message is going to be here, and I don't want to hit that message. In fact, you know what? I think I'm even going to flip it over just so I don't have any interference, even with that little bit of tape that's on there. So when we add that, I can feel there's the edge of where I did that die cut. So I don't have to worry about hitting that when I write my message. Now let's add our shiny hourglass right down here. Remember, no dimensionals on the inside. I like to keep this part flat, but boy, look at how that pops from the outside and the inside. So if you want to say, I miss you every minute of every hour and you need it now, you can do that. You have a little more time, you want to create a wow and say, it's time to celebrate. Happy birthday. I've got you covered. And then, of course, our holy cow with our hourglass that looks like glass, a little extra there on the inside. I love you till the end of time. My friends, this time together stamp set and dies, oh my gosh, it's such a unique card. I think that's why this this bundle in particular caught my attention. It's like nothing we've seen before. We're always looking for something beyond flowers, right? And I think this card is just the cat's meow. I hope you like it as well. I so appreciate you guys being here. If you like the video, would you give me a thumbs up on YouTube? I always appreciate that. And if you haven't subscribed, why not click the subscribe button? YouTube can let you know whenever I'm back with a new video if you ring the bell. And while you're at it, why not share with some crafty friends? We love to have lots of crafters joining us for the fun here on the channel. Thank you again for being here, my friends. Can't wait to stamp with you next time. Bye-bye.